Good morning and happy Monday, June 17th, 2024. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett, live with you streaming on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. I'm your host, Bridgett Ellison. It's good to be with you. And I am live at Matt Austin's desk this morning because we were having some technical difficulties over there at the spot next to Kathleen. So she's just over there. So hopefully we'll make it on air and stay on air with you streaming live this morning. But we're coming off of a really beautiful weekend. Hope you had a great weekend, Father's Day weekend. The weather held up pretty nicely. Meteorologist Candace Campos is in the Pinpoint Weather Center, and we have low rain chances, but plenty of humidity greeting us. I guess you could say greeting us or slapping us in the face, however you want to
with
look at it, right,
with
Candace? Good
open
morning.
with open arms,
It's just
right,
a
Bridget?
warm
And that's
hug.
it's like a nice wet hug. Yeah, you know what? Listen, at the end of the day, today's humidity is not as bad as what it's been feeling like, just because we don't have as much moisture content yet. Yet in the forecast. Rain chances today are pretty low. We're only about a 20% chance. So if there's things you want to get done today and you don't want to have to be dealing with the rain and what time's the rain coming and this needs to be dry for this amount of time, whatever the case may be, today will be the day to do it, as your coverage will stay low. Temperatures, though, throughout the afternoon, near normal, near about 90 degrees. So an overall best day of the week, I would say, would be today. Right? Looks good.
The best
So
day of the week?
Here you go. So let's take it to the maps to show
So
you
you're
what's
saying
going
it's
on.
downhill from here?
Well, not, I wouldn't say downhill, but kind of a little dip. So this is what the forecast looks like. So it's a dry afternoon today. The breeze that will be already picking up, checking out the winds right now between about 10 to 15 already on the coast. Then come Tuesday and Wednesday, pretty seasonal rain chance, about a 30 to 40, maybe 50% chance. Then as we head into Thursday and Friday, we're going to be watching an area in the tropics that the National Hurricane Center is highlighting for potential development. And this could start playing a little bit more of a role in our forecast by Thursday and Friday. So in the meantime, we're still dealing with a relatively dry day. You see those little few fast moving pop-up showers potentially along that strong breeze. But then rain chances increase a little more as we head into your Tuesday. You can see a little more green there on your radar. So we'll go from about a 20% today up to about a 30% on Tuesday. And then those rain chances continue to clock up. At the end of the day, here in Central Florida, beneficial rain still is certainly welcomed news. Unfortunately, if we start talking about more tropical moisture, the big question is how much of that rain is going to fall again in South Florida. We'll have to wait and see. Looking here at your afternoon forecast, highs today nearing 90. Your rain chances low at 20%. You see that east breeze about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So if you are planning on heading out to the beaches today, it will be a nice day. Just do be aware our rip current risk will be a little more elevated than over the weekend just because of our stronger winds. Here's the latest update. We'll get another update in about an hour from the National Hurricane Center, or about 30 minutes actually. We have two areas. One there in the bright red in the southwestern portion of the Gulf of Mexico. Basically, it's a cluster of thunderstorms that will emerge from Central America into the Gulf of Mexico. We got low wind shear. We got very warm temperatures. So really won't take much to potentially develop something out of that. So because of that, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a 70% chance of development. As of now, this looks like the best chance to actually see our first named storm of the year, which on average, Bridget, we normally don't get the average first day with a named storm in hurricane season is about June 20th. So we're almost there. We're almost pretty much right on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, I know everyone who's watching right now is looking at the yellow there in the distance, the banana
Mm-hmm.
looking yellow there. As of now, it's a 30% chance of development. Doesn't look like much right now because there's really not much there just yet. Just some tropical moisture, nothing organized. Some models are showing it turning into a low pressure system. Some areas keeping it like an open tropical wave. We still have to figure out what's going on with this system. There's still a lot of uncertainty with it. So I'm highlighted both areas. So depending if maybe you're traveling you have a Mexican vacation that you're going to, or heading to Texas, there's a lot of rain expected across the western half of the Gulf of Mexico. On the flip side, in the western Atlantic, that's that kind of area that we're watching. As of now, by 7 a.m. with this latest model run, still shows the bulk of the moisture out to sea over the northern Bahamas. How close will it get to us? What's the intensity by the time it nears? All still questions that still need to be answered. So, with that being said, rain chances are on the rise about 60%. This doesn't look to be a raging storm. There's still conditions are still kind of conducive for a little bit of development, but this is still not talking about a big time system. So, just wanted to give you a heads up. As of now, has about a 30% chance of development, but about a 60% chance of bringing us some rain in the forecast. You can see here, all the rain chances will be trending upwards. Temperatures, for the most part, should be staying near normal in the upper 80s to low 90s. So stay tuned. It is, at the end of the day, June 17th. These are the zones we tend to, on average, see areas develop in the Gulf of Mexico, right off the Florida Straits, up the very close to the coastline. That's where we tend to see June storms develop. So again, this is all very typical, nothing very, nerve wracking, but areas
Mhm.
out towards our west, there in Texas and Mexico, could be in store for a whole lot of rain in the next couple of days.
Yes, and I hate it for South Florida, especially just with more rain in the forecast and the devastation already there in the state of emergency
Right. So
for
we're hoping
them.
that that system kind of tracks a little further north of South Florida, but of course, only time will tell. A lot of the models differ significant. There's a big significant difference between the two. So
Mhm.
once we start ironing out those details, hopefully it gives them a little bit of break in between last week's storms, any storms later on this week.
And so the hurricane tracker app is a
Mhm.
separate app that people can download if they don't have that one yet. Of course, we have our pinpoint weather app, but that's a
Correct.
separate one we have, right?
It is. For now, we're in the works on doing something coming up in a couple weeks, so stay tuned. There's some
Oh,
a good there's an interesting new something coming up, which I,
oh,
I
what a
I've already said too
tease!
much. I've said too much.
Uh-oh,
Um
you heard it here
no,
first. A
no.
leak.
Not well, it's an exclusive, a Breakfast with Bridget exclusive. But
Ooh.
yes, as of right now, if you want to get any updates, hurricane wise, if it's not just how it's impacting our local forecast, we do have the Hurricane Tracker app. Just search WKMG in the App Store. It's also free. As of right now, it's been a nice quiet little app that just kind of runs in the background. Doesn't really give us many notifications just yet. We'd liked it for it to stay like that all season long, but
Yeah,
it won't be.
yeah. All right. Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
All right, see you soon.
Bye.
He is going to be hitting the road this morning at 8:30 on patrol in results one. Is everything like you left it, Steve? Good morning.
It seems like your situation is a little dealing with the gremlins this
We
morning, but
roll with it. You know me.
yeah, your audio's in and out, just so you know, on me currently.
Smooth like a
Uh,
duck on the surface.
hey,
And what do
that's
we
all
do?
that matters.
We paddle
Yeah, they don't need to
underneath.
see the craziness taking place underneath. Oh man, but yes, I am back. I will say, Bridget knows me. That's why she asked that question. The
Mhm.
truck is fine. No one
Good.
touched anything. My desk was good.
We
My
were going to send
programs were
Michelle out in
saved.
it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. The way she said
Just
that,
kidding.
she
I'm
already
just
knows
kidding.
that I
I'm
would have
just
been like
kidding.
calling Michelle. I would have been like, Michelle, what are you doing out in Claremont in my truck? That would have been great.
Rolling.
No, went for a nice drive.
Mhm.
Obviously the wife, new job, so she's been relocated out of the state. So I did, you'd be proud or maybe upset with me, but I did 16 hours straight by myself
Oh.
from Orlando to Jersey, one shot.
Oh, wow.
Knocked it out.
How many stops did you count?
I did 4 stops and I did it
Wow.
all on my own.
Wow.
She did not come with me. I listened to podcasts. I listened to some motivational spiritual cast, all of it. And it got me
Good.
straight through 95. And I learned a thing or
Nice.
two, a few different podcasts here. I enjoy driving. A lot of people think I'm
You've
crazy,
been
but
you've
I
gotten a
enjoy
few
it.
long distance ones under your belt now, so.
Absolutely. Yeah. It takes a little practice, but once you fall into the zone, you got some good
Mhm.
vibes going. I think a lot of people can knock it out.
Now,
So.
did you start super early? With that being 16 hours, did you like get up like you were going to
Yeah,
work
I
or?
left at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, and I never hit a major slowdown. So I judged it just before that morning rush hour. So I was able to
Mm-hmm.
get through Jacksonville before everything got crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
then coasting up through the Carolinas, I was able to skip through that rush hour just right before I
Mm-hmm.
hit it each time. So it worked out pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. Saw a few troopers along the way, but they didn't get me. So I was good to go.
Good deal. And I'm glad that was a safe trip and got back safely. And what's cooking for
Yep.
today?
Today I will be out on patrol at 8:30. We're going to talk about dash cameras, Bridget. And the question was really, Steve, what's your opinion on dash cameras? So I figured I could spend 15 minutes on just about anything, given my opinion. So we're going to talk about them, where they come into benefit, and why I feel almost every car should have them. We're not
Mhm.
going to market a certain brand or anything, but we just want to let people know why drivers are getting them and how they can be useful for it to you out on the road.
Mhm.
They range from $20 up into hundreds of dollars, but
Mhm.
just the purpose of them is what we're going to talk about today over at 8:30 at clickorlando.com. And before we jump to traffic, Bridget, I want to tell you, out of all people yesterday, I go to get on my plane to come home. I'm sitting in New Jersey and I'm watching the line, and who's in the line? Chief Meteorologist Tom Soros.
Oh,
And I go running up to him. I go, "Oh my gosh, are you Tom Soros?" And he just looks at me like, "Really, dude? Right now you're doing this to me at the airport?" But we were on the same plane. Small
so
world,
you
right?
rode back. You rode
Yeah,
back together.
he was coming back from his nice fancy vacation, but I was coming back from Jersey and we connected there in Newark.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
pretty
Very
good. So I
nice.
could show you traffic real quick. Some good news. This fatal crash that we were talking about for the majority of the morning has been cleared. There's still investigators still out there. We're talking Malabar Road and Malabar Woods Boulevard, South Brevard County, Palm Bay area, Malabar. FHP working this. They have cleared the roadway, but there are still investigators out there, so please be careful. Champions Gate to downtown, 36-minute drive, not too horrible. DOT camera showing us that traffic is out there. It is moving eastbound, going to be on the left side of your screen, and about a 5 mile an hour drive there as you cross over Champions Gate / Osceola Polk Line Road. So just be careful as you're cruising out there. We don't need a crash. Currently, I-4 is crash free, just the way we like it. Hunters Creek, good morning to you. Osceola Parkway, a little slow northbound along 535 there, approaching Polynesian Isle, but very normal. Orange Avenue looking good. What are we not seeing this morning? We're not seeing those slowdowns out by our schools because it is summer break. So Oak Ridge seeing real nice. Well, this isn't good, and this I didn't plan for. Looks like we do have a crash currently on the Florida Turnpike. That has some things shut down. As I'm talking to you here, I'm just looking something up. But what you're seeing here is a northbound shutdown on the map. Now, I don't know how accurate that is through the Claremont area, so I am checking something behind the scenes here as I'm telling you about it. But if you are on the Florida Turnpike right now, you might run into some major slowdowns. I'm getting the information as I'm talking here. Left lane is blocked northbound. It is not a shutdown. Left lane is going to be blocked northbound through that area. And in the next cut in, if you tune in on TV, I'll have some more information for you guys there, Bridget. But me seeing that there, I want to go and pull up some DOT cams so I could see what's going on out there. So when they tune into the cut in after Breakfast with Bridget, they can get the right information.
All right. And looking forward to that great info on the dash cameras. And, it's a whole lot easier than people think to get one and set it up. So, and it's good to have for so many reasons. So,
Well, it's the independent witness that we all want. It's the one that's never going to lie, and it's the most unbiased person that we could have in our car. So tune in 8:30.
awesome. All right. Thanks. See you then.
See ya.
Okay, we have a little bit of news to get to this morning, and this jury selection set to get underway in the trial of a convicted rapist who was accused of attacking a woman literally just months after he was released from prison. Bruce Whitehead is accused of raping and trying to kill a woman in Orange County in 2022. And this was after serving 20 years for a different attack. News 6's Ezzy Castro has more on why he was actually released from prison before that alleged attack.
Orange County back in 2022. Deputies say Whitehead picked up the woman on South Orange Blossom Trail, drove her to Pine Hills, then tried to kill her. The Whitehead's criminal history dates back to 1987 when he was arrested after investigators say he kidnapped and raped another woman. Court records show Whitehead removed the victim from her car at knife point, raped her repeatedly, and stabbed her 25 times. She did survive. Whitehead then turned himself in to police and stayed in prison until 2007 and was then moved to a mental health facility after psychologists found he suffered from a personality disorder. Though in 2022, he was released after a psychologist said he didn't pose a risk to the community months before his latest attack.
So someone saw him, they recognized him, and they called us. We got the call, our deputies responded, we set up a perimeter, and we were able to arrest him and put him back in jail.
And so we'll keep you updated on that jury selection for that case today. Our News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld has this next story about schemes and ripoffs. This latest report is a warning once again about looking for love online. There's so much to be aware of and be wary of. And this live video dating app started out with romance for a man, but it ended up with him losing thousands of dollars, thinking that he was going to make this dating match his wife. And so here's Mike with more.
She's one of hundreds of young women connecting with men around the world on a live dating app called 17 Live.
We hit it off real quick. She said she always wanted to travel to America.
He wants to remain anonymous, a New York-born Chinese-American now living in Orlando, convinced the woman he knew as Shen Shen wanted to fly to Orlando to be his wife. But there was a catch.
She said in China, in order to obtain a travel visa or a K-1 marriage visa, she needs to show the visa officer that she has steady income.
To meet that income, he sent her $30,000 via a payment method the app refers to as baby coin. You weren't suspicious at all? You figured this is legitimate?
I really thought she loves me. I thought she was going to come here and be my wife.
They've been dating via live chats and exchanging photos online for 4 months.
But I speak fluent Chinese, so we interacted really well.
But when Shen Shen suddenly needed more money, he knew this had nothing to do with love.
If somebody's asking you for money, that has got to be a red flag.
Special Agent in Charge Caroline O'Brien Buster of the U.S. Secret Service says transferring funds to an international stranger on a video chat is pure risk.
He sent the money over there and he's never going to get it.
He's never going to get it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Mike Hofeld getting results, News 6.
And so, this is just another installment of those types of things that we keep coming across. So it's happening so much more often than we realize. So have to really be careful out there. An update on the ISS and the Starliner astronauts, Sonny and Butch, will have to stay a few more days at the ISS, it turns out, because they are still running a bunch of checks on the capsule. Starliner, of course, finally made it to the ISS after so many launch delays, but now engineers are working on more system checks before they plan to bring Sonny, Butch, and the capsule home. And so they're targeting Saturday, June 22nd as the departure. And that means that they'll be there at least a week longer than previous planned. And so we'll keep you updated on what's happening there with Starliner. But, they've found a few things that they want to make sure are okay. And we'll keep you updated. Now to News 6's Molly Reed and Volusia County, where school leaders there are taking out a look on ways to curb vaping on campus. This is something we've been talking about. And so last year, the district upped the punishment for those caught with a vape pen or using one. And new data is showing that Volusia County schools saw an 80% uptick in students vaping on campus compared to 2023. So that is a big jump. And Molly has a look at what they are doing over the summer to try to bring the numbers down.
The school districts are getting these numbers based on the number of referrals they gave out during a 3-month stretch. Here in Volusia, the district says it gave out 289 referrals in 2023 from January to the end of March. And in 2024, it gave out 521 during that stretch. The district and sheriff's office are now working together on new approaches for next school year.
We put technology into our schools like vape detectors so that our admin team has a weapon to use to tell what's going on.
Volusia School spokesman Greg Trichetta says the higher referrals mean the technology is working, but more teens are vaping.
Well, it's not healthy and it's a discipline issue, right? If you get busted in a high school multiple times for this, you could face suspension or expulsion. So now your little habits turned into a life-altering event.
The district says technology and discipline only go so far at this point.
We're trying to move behavior, right? Sending kids home for vaping leads them to vaping at home, right? So that's not necessarily the best solution.
The district is working with the state attorney's office this summer on a new educational campaign that it'll roll out to students in the fall and also in August. The sheriff's office here is bringing back its DARE program for students to hopefully drill into the students' minds, A, the danger of nicotine, and B, what's really in those vapes that you're getting off the street.
The answer, in my opinion, is more parents becoming parents and more education. So they're using every method possible to get this thing in here, because we see in the urine test we get that overwhelming majority of these kids are testing positive for THC oil. But in that THC oil, we're also coming up with traces of fentanyl, traces of meth, traces of heroin.
In Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed getting results, News 6.
And so hopefully that does help cut down on the youth using vaping and, of course, the health risks involved. Speaking of health, men's life expectancy. Men on average do not live as long as women. Why is that? There's been a saying amongst many people that women get sicker and men die quicker. And that's attributed to the fact that we know a lot of times women will go to the doctor a little bit more often than men do. But anyway, News 6's Jeff Wagner explains the challenges and how men can increase their lifespans.
Why do you think the life expectancy is lower for men?
They don't like going to the doctor or the dentist.
How do you know that?
My husband hates it.
Dr. David Hilden chairs the Department of Medicine at Hennepin Healthcare.
For over 100 years, for pretty much the entirety of the 20th century, men have not lived as long as women, primarily because of heart disease and cancer. The second would be lung cancer, and it's almost exclusively because men smoked more.
Currently, the life expectancy for a man in the U.S. is 74.8 years. For women, it's 80.2, a difference of a little more than 5 years. But back in 2010, the gap was smaller, just 4.8 years. Meaning, despite modern medicine, men have struggled to shrink that difference.
Men are dying at higher rates than are women due to substance use, overdoses, and unintentional accidents.
The COVID-19 pandemic also caused a quick and steep drop in life expectancy.
They had more heart disease, more lung disease, then COVID hit them harder.
Life expectancy is back on the rise the further we get from the pandemic, a number that can keep growing with some simple lifestyle changes.
What are the steps someone can take to increase their life expectancy?
Lead a less sedentary lifestyle.
That could be as rigorous as exercise or gentle as gardening. The point being, get your body moving.
Probably more is attributable to our diets than we realize.
A diet with lean meats, leafy greens, and less processed food is key for heart health.
Stress and mental health. I would really focus on those.
Lastly, see a doctor.
They can help you with your diet. They can help you with your blood pressure. They can help you to stay healthy.
And not just when something is wrong. Jeff Wagner, CBS News, Minneapolis.
And yesterday was Father's Day, and this next story is from our Gerald Baker, who's a new member of the News 6 team, and he headed out to tell the story of a father and son's team out in Oviedo. They have a wonderful market, an Italian market, very authentic, and it is out in Oviedo at the mall. And he has more on how they did it and how this is just a family labor of love.
Many fathers push their goals aside to raise and provide for their family. Now Phil and Anthony D'Amico are making cannolis, lobster tail, and other foods to make their father's dream come true.
Just turned 60, 61. I got to do it. Like it's a goal of his, and you know, we said, you know what, whatever you want to do, like, we're behind you, let's get it done.
There. Bam. Giovanni D'Amico worked and operated several Italian pizzerias, delis, and bakeries over the last 40 years in New York and New Jersey.
My first job, I was 12 years old. Back in the days, it was legal. Was in a bakery filling cannolis.
During that time, he developed a passion and wanted to open up a place of his own in Central Florida.
And I always said one day that was going to be my goal. That was going to be my last adventure. Was to open up an Italian supermarket.
After retiring, Giovanni and his sons decided to make it happen and open up D'Amico and Sons Italian Market and Bakery in Oviedo in November.
But he always had this vision to bring that to Central Florida, to give our culture, the Italian culture, Sicilian culture, to the people in Orlando and Oviedo and, you know, the surrounding areas.
The Sons spent several weeks learning business strategies and recipes to make their market one that will last future generations.
We want it to be as authentic as possible, like our parents were used to. And you know, every day we're evolving, adding new items, new pastries.
Dad says he couldn't be happier watching his sons follow in his footsteps and keep his dream alive.
When the day comes that God takes me, at least I know they're set up, they're going to be fine, and that's what makes a father proud.
Jarrell Baker, Getting Results, News 6.
Such a parent, such a dad. Like, you know, when I'm gone, it was kind of making me sad, but you know, that is every parent's wish, that they can make sure that the kids are good before they leave this world. And I will tell you, this stuff is amazing. I tried one of those lobster tails. Trooper Steve had a whole one. I had a part of one, and then I went back and got another piece. So delicious. So make sure you check that out and share it with someone, because they are amazing. I'll be back out there to get some more pretty soon. So we'll see you tomorrow. We are out of time. And up next is Weatherwise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas and Trooper Steve on the road at 8:30. And I'll see you for News 6 at noon on WKMG. Take care.